So if you've got yourself a Sony A6700 and you're in video mode, you will know that with certain settings that the camera will overheat. Now you can change the camera's internal threshold heat setting to high, which means that you can record for longer, but the camera will still overheat in certain record settings. Well, that's when Ulanzi reached out to me and said that they have a product that can stop the Sony A6700 from overheating. I must admit that I was a bit dubious, but Ulanzi said they'll send me one out for free and I can test it out and let all my viewers know if it works or not. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. This is it here, the Ulanzi Cooling fan. Let's see what we get in the box. You get the mandatory quick start guide, but it's so simple you don't need this. You get a small little warranty card, a USB to USB-C charging cable, then a thermal sticker, and the fan itself. And the first thing you're going to want to do with the fan is charge up the internal rechargeable 200 mAh battery with the supplied cable. As the fan is charging, you're going to get the thermal sticker and stick this underneath where the screen is on the rear of your Sony A6700. Once you've applied it, make sure it's firmly stuck down. It's also worth noting that this does not impede the closing or opening of the rear screen. Once the fan is fully charged, you're going to add a little bit of moisture to each of the suction cups on the rear of the fan. And then press the fan firmly onto the rear of the camera. And as quickly and easy as that, the Ulanzi Cooling fan is attached to your A6700. Holding down the power button for 2 seconds turns on the fan. Press the power button again to activate speed mode 1 on the fan. Press it again and it goes to speed mode 2. If you hold the power button down again for 2 seconds, it turns off the fan. Now before we get on to the testing of the Ulanzi Cooling fan, I'm going to ask for a big favour from each and every one of you. My target is to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2023, and the only way I can do that is with your help. So if you're getting anything at all from this video, please hit that subscribe button down below and give this video a big thumbs up. Anyway, back to the testing. First test we're going to do is a base test with a Sony A6700 without the cooling fan on. We're going to be recording at 4K 50 frames per second, 422 10-bit colour. We've also set the camera's auto turn off threshold to high, and let's see how long it lasts in 3 individual tests. Our first test, the camera lasted 26 minutes 55 seconds before switching off due to overheating. We then changed the battery and allowed the camera 30 minutes to cool down before doing test number 2, and that lasted 25 minutes 27 seconds. Again, we gave the camera 30 minutes to cool down and we replaced the battery for a fresh one. And the results for test number 3 were 26 minutes 10 seconds before the camera shut down to overheating. The ambient room temperature was 24 Celsius, 75 Fahrenheit. The rear screen on the camera was also flipped outwards to disperse some of the heat. Next we're going to repeat the test in exactly the same environment. The temperature is going to be exactly the same and all the camera settings are going to be exactly the same. We're going to turn on the Ulanzi Cooling fan and put it on setting number 1 and see how the camera fares. So in our first test with the cooling fan on, the camera eventually switched off after a time of 1 hour 17 minutes 30 seconds, and this was due to running out of battery. The camera did not overheat. We gave the camera again 30 minutes to cool down, replaced a fresh battery and restarted the process. In the second test, the camera lasted 1 hour 13 minutes 43 seconds, and again it did not overheat. Our third and final test, after giving the camera 30 minutes to cool down and replacing the battery for a fresh one, the camera eventually stopped after a time of 1 hour 7 minutes 10 seconds, and that was because we forgot to format the SD card. If we compare both these tests together, you can see that without the fan, on all 3 occasions the camera overheated, and all 3 tests with the Ulanzi Cooling fan set to on, not once did the camera overheat. Now with the fan fully charged, I got a run time of 79 minutes on speed mode number 1 and on speed mode number 2 I got 68 minutes. To recharge the fan's battery from 0% to 100% took approximately 45 minutes, but it's worth noting that the fan can actually run off a power bank via the USB-C cable, should you require it to be on for longer durations. Next is the sound test of the fan, and I'll leave it up to your discretion what you think to it. So as you've seen from the test, the Ulanzi Cooling fan does an amazing job with the Sony A6700 in keeping it nice and cool. And coming in at a weight of only 58 grams, it really adds no weight at all to your camera. But there are a couple of things that I wish Ulanzi would change about this fan. The first is the suction cups and the way it's mounted onto the rear of the camera. You see, if you forget to moisture the suction cups, the fan will eventually fall off the rear of the camera. I think a better solution would have been a double-sided adhesive thermal pad that is replaceable. And with double-sided thermal pads you'd have no issues with the fan falling off, and because the fan is made from metal, the whole of the fan casing becomes a heat sink, which would aid with the dispersal of the heat. The second problem, and this isn't to do with Ulanzi at all, it's to do with Sony. If you have the temperature auto turn off setting set to standard, the fan makes hardly any difference to the camera's runtime at all. With exactly the same settings as earlier on in our test, but the auto power off setting set to standard instead of high, with no fan we got a runtime of 5 minutes 18 before the camera overheated. With the Ulanzi Cooling fan set to speed mode number 2, we got a maximum runtime of 6 minutes 35 seconds. But like I said, this isn't due to the Ulanzi Cooling fan, it's due to the Sony camera's internal sensor being set so low that you have no chance to cool the camera down before it shuts down. So does the Ulanzi Cooling fan get my recommendation? Absolutely yes. If you do any type of video recording and you're worried about your camera overheating, then this is the perfect solution for your Sony A6700. In all our tests, as you have seen, with the Ulanzi Cooling fan attached and the auto power off setting set to high, not once did the Sony A6700 turn off due to overheating. I'll leave a link to the Ulanzi Cooling fan in the description and in the top pinned comment. If you have any questions in regards to this cooling fan or any about the Sony A6700, please put them in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But thank you very much for watching this video. Please remember to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see further Sony A6700 videos. But that's it for now. We'll catch up in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, and whilst you're here, why not check out this video?